I'm gonna need a lot of storage.
The Nintendo Switch is only 8 days away. It is almost here, guys. Just a little bit more waiting. Now I have a question for you guys. Are you going to be going physical or are you going to be going digital? If you are planning on going physical, then you're going to have an easier time. But if you're going digital, well, you're going to be needing a big SD card, I would say. I feel like Nintendo is making a mistake by not giving us a lot of storage for the internal storage. Microsoft and Sony actually are doing well with this part, where they give 250, 500, or something along the lines for their internal storage. So how much storage do you actually need for the Nintendo Switch? Well, it comes down to a few things. But first, let's take a look at the pros for physical vs digital. Let's start off with physical copies first. You can just go to the store and buy the game, no needing to wait for the game to download, and you don't have to wait for slow connections. You can always share the games with your friends easily. You can save plenty on storage. You can sell or trade in your games when you don't want them anymore. And now for the pros for digital that I came up with. You can switch games easily. You can't lose your games because you always have them. They are easy to store. They are maybe possibly cheaper, but don't quote me on that. So how much storage do you actually need for the Switch? Are you going to be buying digital or physical? And also, will you be downloading eShop games as well? Well, we're not going to focus much on eShop games in this video. We're going to focus more on the Switch games coming out. Also, if you do plan on buying physical copies, you should still buy an SD card just in case you want to buy eShop games or you want some extra storage in the system. But do not buy Nintendo Switch brand SD cards because they are more expensive than regular SD cards. Now let's talk digital. You definitely need an SD card if you are going digital, no doubt about it. Especially if you buy a bunch of games for the Switch. Now let's take a look at the games that's coming to the Switch and their file sizes. As you can see, we got a few games that's going to take quite a lot of storage. We got Zelda taking up 13.4 gigabytes, Mario Kart 8 with 7 gigabytes, Super Bomberman 4 gigabytes, and Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 with a whopping 32 gigabytes. For some games like Dragon Quest, they might not even fit on the internal storage just because of how big the file size is. Also, the internal storage is actually not 32 gigabytes. A few days ago or so, we actually got the exact amount, or close to exact amount, where it was 25.9 gigabytes for the internal storage out of the 32. The reason being is because of storing some software on the storage itself. I did buy some devices in the past where it was like 16 gigabytes of storage by the box, but the actual storage was less than that. So it's not really unusual for this to happen. So how much storage do you actually need for the Nintendo Switch? Well, it does come down to a few things actually. How many games are you actually going to buy and download? Are you going to be buying any eShop games? Are you going to be going physical or are you going to be going digital? I would say for the average person, they will get at least 10 to 15 games for the Switch. So with my conclusion, you only need like 32 or 64 gigabytes when you're going physical, just because you might download some eShop games, or you might end up downloading some software for the Nintendo Switch. So my conclusion for downloading all digital copies, you would need at least 128 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes for SD storage. There are so many more games coming out to the Nintendo Switch, and they'll probably have huge file sizes as well. So that's why I'm going with 128 gigabytes, just because of how big Dragon Quest is, and I'm sure there will be more games with that big file size. There's at least 80 games in development right now for the Nintendo Switch, and who knows how big the file sizes are, and you can probably expect me to buy a lot of them. Also, if Zelda Breath of the Wild was actually a Switch game, it would probably be bigger file size. This is actually a Wii U port. Same goes with Mario Kart 8. It's also a Wii U port. That's why I'm kinda expecting huge file sizes for games, just because the Nintendo Switch can produce higher graphics than the Wii U. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, have a smashing day.